This makes a perfect shop camera, or that one camera you need in the room. So today I wanted to talk about this camera that some of my friends on Amazon sent me. It is the Zosi C528M. And let me tell you what, this camera is really unique, and what I wanted to review about it was not only just the application environment that runs the actual camera itself, but just kind of the unique features that this camera is able to do other than a lot of other cameras you have on the market. So why I wanted to kind of do a little bit more in-depth review about this certain camera is because this makes a perfect shop camera, or that one camera you need in the room that you need some sort of more functionality behind it. Now, let's talk about a little bit of the specifications before we get into why the application is so important. The camera has two forward-facing cameras. One is actually made for pan tilt zoom, so you can move it around in the room, and one is for communication. So there is a screen in front of this to where it can actually call up a phone for you and communicate with another person on the other line and not have to be pointing towards them directly. So it has its own camera for that, which I think it's really unique amongst a lot of the cameras. Now, the front quality cameras are both the same. They're both gonna be at 2K. Another feature behind it is that works on hand gestures. So you can actually make a phone call, not by just pressing the button that's on the front, okay? But you could also make a hand gesture and make a phone call, which is pretty much the OK symbol. So other than that, there are a lot of other really cool features behind it. It has an SD card in the front where if you move the camera down, the face down, it has a little slot where you can put it in. Or if you just wanted to host it online, you could go ahead and add the additional cloud service behind it too at an additional monthly fee. Now the setup behind it, I had a little bit of problems with the setup, but support with Zosi got back to me fairly quickly, and they helped fix whatever the problem was that I had. It just was a registration error on it. I've been running it for about 2 to 3 weeks now, and it's been running solid, no problems whatsoever. And I definitely wanted to encourage you guys to take a look at this, especially if you just want one camera in your garage and you want something where you can pan tilt zoom, and you wanted something that has really cool AI features behind it, because once it also locks in on a person too, it can follow around the person. It can tell you when the shop is empty. So let's start talking about the application on how easy it is. So we're gonna go ahead and show you a demo of what it's like to use the application after you have it installed. So here's the application itself. And then from here, it's going to show the cameras that I have online. As you can see right here, this is the camera, and it'll get a thumbnail view of the actual camera. And you're going to have a couple different features on it too, about configurations. After you have the app installed, you go ahead and click into the camera, and then it's going to show you two camera views. Now, I would like to point out that the top view over here is going to be the pan tilt zoom camera, and the bottom camera that is right here is going to be the one that stays static. And what's interesting about that one is when you go to make a video call, that bottom one will always stay on the person's face, while the top one you can still control and move around. But for the sake of the video, let's go ahead and move around the camera just to show you the ease of it. So I'll go ahead and go up and down. So let me go ahead and move it towards my face here, so you guys can see where I'm at here. Another couple features about this camera too is that it has AI control, so that way that you can actually select on the face that you want. It's also gesture control too. And go ahead and, just for a sake, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the button on the front, which is going to be the call button. So as you can see here, there's the little tiny call button. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the call button.
Camera call invalid. Please wait.
So it'll actually call my phone, which is great. So you go to answer it. Now it's gonna sound all weird because of the sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer that. The sound kind of came out crazy, but that's what it looks like after it. So as you can see, it has, my face is actually talking to the camera, and there you have it. Let me go ahead and hang up with it so you can see it. But there you have it. You know, me making phone calls really quick. So if you have your kids at home, you could go ahead and have them call you whenever you need to, and it just it calls you just like a regular phone from both ends, and you can actually hear it calling too. And here is the actual settings for the camera. You have, you could share the device with a family member. You know, let's say your wife, you want your wife to have access to the application. Well, this is where you can actually do it. Message settings too as well. Now, one thing about when you are setting it up, you have to allow the push notifications so it alerts your phone when somebody is pressing the button. And that's something that I had to find out. Intelligent algorithm. You can have it to where it's set to a couple different variations. So you have motion detection, human detection, intrusion detection, the area, absence detection if somebody leaves, gesture detection too as well. That's one thing I did not have enabled, is that when you enable this, you can actually make a gesture to the camera to make a phone call for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. And what's really neat is I'm gonna turn the camera back towards me. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a gesture instead of hitting the button. And let's say this is really good for maybe you need your camera for emergency purposes and you wanna have it and you can't reach it. Or let's say you're washing the dishes, okay? And you wanna make a phone call to your wife to say, hey, look, I need to pick up some groceries on the way home. So what you do is you just do that right there. And it'll start calling me, which is really awesome, really awesome. So, and what's cool is that you could actually see in the bubble the live camera feed that's there. So you'll be able to see the person say, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I'm gonna go ahead and decline that call right now. But like I said before, the app and this camera does so much that you can continually really tweak this thing to really operate the way you wanted to use it for your house, whether you have kids, you're washing dishes and you want to make a phone call. Heck, you could even set up to where your dog or your cat can probably end up calling you. Now that would make it an amazing video. Getting back to the app itself, let's go ahead and continue to play with the app. So they have their cloud set up too, to where you can record it on the cloud, or you could actually drop in an SD card and record it on the actual camera itself. And what I was saying before is that it really makes it a convenient feature to have to where it's available there, to where if you need a recording, you can quickly pull it directly either from the cloud or the SD card. I went ahead and just had the basic setup so you guys can actually see the software and how it really operates the camera. I have this camera already running in my house already for 2 weeks now, just to confirm it works solid. And I unplugged it, brought it into the studio, and instantly I didn't have to configure anything. As long as you have the Wi-Fi SSID the same, it should operate normally without any configuration, depending on how you want to move your camera throughout the house. I hope you guys liked today's video.